Well, I think we can all agree that direct paid advertising through Facebook ads is the best way to drive a big swath of cold traffic to Spotify to promote your latest release. Can we all agree on that? Yes? Cool. You've decided to use Facebook ads to promote your latest release, but how do you make an ad that converts well? How do you make an ad that people are going to see and they're going to watch all the way through and then click through and then go listen to your music? Well, I have a method that I have been using for several releases now that's working great. In fact, for my latest release, Lions, which is out now, my cost per conversion has been about 9 cents on these ads. And so today, in this video, I'm going to break down for you how I make ads that perform so well. What's up, guys? It's Tom. Welcome back to the lab and welcome back to my life. Now, before we get into this video, every Friday right here on the channel at 1 p.m. Central Time, we go live for an hour and talk music marketing, branding, business, and all the other things that you guys want to rap on. If you have an idea or a question that you want to ask me or a video you'd like to see me make, this is definitely the place to do it. You can come talk to me directly. We can talk about whatever it is you're working on, whatever you have questions about or need help with. And you can come hang out and chat with all the other cool people who are here for the live sessions as well. We've put together an awesome community on this channel, and everybody who's in these live streams is engaging and fun and nice and helpful, always constantly talking back and forth, answering each other's questions. That sounds like something you want to be a part of. Come join us this Friday at 1 p.m. Central Time. It's scheduled already in my profile and you can go check it out. Now today, we're going to look at how to make stories ads to drive traffic to Spotify. Ads that are like this. Are the lions, the hunters, the giants. As I said before, that ad has been converting at about 9 cents per conversion. Today, what we're going to do is hop into Final Cut and I'm going to walk you through how I made that ad and how I created a template so that I can just drop in my cover art to create ads just like that for every single release. So let's dig into it. Okay, so we're here in Final Cut, and I'm going to be referencing everything in Final Cut because this is what I use to edit my videos. If you're using different software, then the kind of basic rules should apply. You should have some filters and presets in your editing software that are pretty much similar to what I have here. So it should apply across the board. When in doubt, find something similar and get as close as you can if you want to try to do the same thing. So again, here we have one of the ads for Lions. This is the completed ad right here that you just saw. And I've got my various elements here. I've got my cover art. I've got my mastered track. And then here I've got my preset of text overlay that I use on the ad. This is the most extensive thing that we have to build. And I'm going to show you how to build this exact thing. So first things first, we are going to start out by creating a brand new session here or project or whatever it's called here in Final Cut. And we'll just call this Lions New. We're going to make a vertical video. We're going to have 1080p resolution, and I do everything at 24 frames per second. Do whatever you like to do. So here we are, Lions New. The first thing I'm going to do is grab the cover art and drop that down here. And I'm going to zoom in over here on the right side. You can see I have this transform box here, and I'm going to scale it up so that it fills the whole frame and hides the text. I don't want the text to be visible. And we'll just make that an even 210 there. I don't want the text to be visible in the background of the ad. And then we're going to open up the, we're going to do Command 5 is what I just did there to open up all of these effects that we've got in here. And the first thing I'm going to put on here is a focus effect. So I'm going to look up focus. I'm going to grab this, drop it over here. And then we can kind of play with it to bring it in and out of focus here. And I kind of like to get it fairly blurry in the background. Because what we're going to do is this thing's going to move. We're going to put a Ken Burns effect on this. And it's just barely going to show up. So we're going to put it about like that. This is more to just kind of provide some ambiance. And as you can see now, I've added the focus thing on there. The text is kind of coming through. So we'll zoom in a little bit. I'll just go to like, what, 225, that pull it out? Yeah, okay. So zoom in a little bit more. And then the next thing I'm going to add is if we go back here, you can see that it's all black at the bottom. And the reason I did that is so that the text will pop. You don't want the text to fight with anything in the background. The whole point of this ad is to be very clear and very specific about what we want the viewer, the listener, the customer to do. You want to make it super clear what you expect them to do. As you can see, I want you to listen on Spotify very specifically, and I want you to swipe up to do that. And in the stories placement, it's going to say listen now. So it's like 3 confirmations in a row, very quick decision of what I want you to do. And you can decide very quickly whether or not you want to do that. Going back to our other session here, we are going to go back to our presets, our effects panel here, and we're going to look up what's called a graduated mask. So we're going to take the graduated mask, drag it, drop it on here. And as you can see, it's added that black at the bottom there, which is exactly what we want. In fact, the kind of preset version of it there is perfect. So I'm going to hit Command 5 to close that because I don't need it at the moment. And then we're going to drag the cover art back on top of this again. And now we've got a cover art on top of the cover art. But this is what we want. So we're going to shrink it down a little bit. We're going to take it down to like 80. And then we are going to lift it up top, go up to like 350. There we go. And we're going to open this panel back up, and we are going to search for a shadow, drop shadow. Perfect. So we're going to add a little drop shadow here for some texture on this cover art. All right, that's a little low, so bring the position up a little bit. Whoop. Like that. And we're going to knock down the opacity a little bit. And let's just slide it over one so we can kind of get a look at it here. Okay, cool. I like that. I'm going to bring this back over 1. There we go. So now it's kind of lifted off the page and it's got like some kind of cool texture to it, right? Now comes the text. This is the fun part. Okay, so the first thing we want is we want the Spotify logo. So if we go here to Spotify for Developers, you can download their logo for free from their website. It's developer.spotify.com/branding-guidelines. I'll put a link in the description of this video. So we're going to go here and we're going to download the logo and icon. And they have a bunch of rules and stuff you can read about how you are allowed to use it and how you're not. Basically, just like don't change the logo and you'll be fine. So going back to Final Cut, we're going to open up our icons and logos here. Go to RGB. We want a ping file. There we go. There's our Spotify logo. So we're going to grab that, drop it in. Now we've got to resize this thing because it's huge. So we don't want it to be that big. So we're going to bring it down. We're going to make it like 35. One of the things that I have found to be counterintuitive about stories ads is everybody wants things to be super big. But you have to remember that everybody's phone is able to be really clear and crisp, high definition text. So you can actually make things smaller than you might otherwise think, and people will be able to read them and get the gist. So now we've got our Spotify logo, and the next thing we want to add is a title. So I'm going to do Control T, and that adds a title in here. It's just a basic title in here, and we're going to put listen, if I can spell, listen on. We're going to select, I like Avenir Next as a font because it's got a good chunky bold that sticks out really well. So this is what I use. And then I'm going to go all caps on it. All cap size, we're going to go all the way up to 100. So there we go. And we're going to drag this here. We need to shrink this text down a little bit, don't we? Kind of want to get it similar size to Spotify. So there we've got that, and we're going to try to get this as close to kind of the same size as we can. Get it on the same axis here. Oop. And get it kind of more or less centered. There we go. Now, the next thing we want is swipe up. So we're going to add another title. We're going to do Control T again on the Mac, and then I'm going to type swipe up. Because we want to be, again, very clear with what we want the user to do. It may seem like it's redundant to add so many different things, but it is important to make it clear. Again, you don't want any doubt in their mind about what it is you want them to do or where they're going to end up when they click your ad. That's the most important thing. You don't want them to have any confusion about where they might end up going if they click your ad. Okay. So now, what size was this? That was 34. We're going to make the swipe up the same size as the other text. And we're going to make it 34 as well. Okay. Swipe up is in the middle. Everything looks pretty centered. I'm just going to do this at the end, but we're going to make this all 15 seconds long because that's how long each one of our ads is going to be. So now everything's going to be exactly 15 seconds. In fact, this is the right step to do this because we are about to automate and keyframe this swipe up so that it bounces up and down. I have found that animating a couple of things in these ads rather than being just static sort of sends a signal to the person's brain that, oh, this is a video, there's probably audio too. Two things we want to automate. The background, we want to go here, click this little box, trim and crop Ken Burns thing. We're going to select Ken Burns. And here's what we want it to do. We just want it to move ever so slightly so that when we play it, you can see the background just kind of shifting a little bit. It's not moving a ton, but it is moving a little bit so that you can get that animation. In fact, I think I might lighten up the blur just a touch so that we can see that animation a little bit better. There we go. We'll lower that a lot. See, there we go. Now we can really see the animation there. Okay, the next thing we're going to animate is swipe up. So I'm going to do Control V to open up our keyframe options here. We're going to go to Transform. And we're going to do Option K to create a keyframe. And this keyframe position is going to be Y of 0. Now, we're going to go, let's call it 30 frames. So every 30 frames, we're going to do Command K again. We're going to do another keyframe. Except this one, I'm going to raise it up a little bit. We'll go up 25. And then we're going to go back to our timeline. Back to our timeline. We've got a keyframe in there. We're going to go back to 0. We're going to do this over and over again until we get all the way to the end of this 15-second clip. Now that we've got that done, we're going to hit Control V. We're going to close that. And then we're going to play this back. And as you can see, the swipe up bounces up and down. So we've got two pieces of visual animation, visual input for the viewer slash listener slash potential fan to see that this is a video and there's some stuff moving. So that's going to trigger their head to go, there's probably audio here. So now we've got a 15-second clip that has our cover art, our moving background cover art, listen on Spotify, and swipe up. From here, we are going to drag in our song and select multiple sections of the song that we want to split test and add. I recommend split testing at least 3 different parts of your song so that you can give people options to choose from, give the Facebook algorithm options to choose from, because you just never know what's going to do the best. For Lions, for example, I split tested the verse, the break, the drop, and then the very end biggest part of the song. And oddly enough, the verse did the best out of everything. Never would have expected it, but if I hadn't split tested, I probably would have just used the drop, and the cost per conversion on that has averaged about 15 cents. So almost double what I've been getting with the verse. So highly recommend split testing options for your song. So what we're going to do here is we'll zoom out and we'll just pick, like, what we do is we'll just find a part of the song. So we'll just kind of start right there at the top of the break, drag it down here. I'm using B to select the blade tool, and I have snapping on. You can toggle that on and off with the N key. And we'll mute this with V. And then, so here we've got an ad. If we add a couple of just slight fades at the end here. So here we've got our ad. And this is what ad 1 will sound like.
We are the lions, the hunters, the giants, cradling the light as as it slowly burns away. We are the fires, your silence.
Just like that, 15 seconds long, and there's your ad. Now let me show you what this looks like in context so that you can kind of understand my logic and reasoning for why I do it just like this. If we go back out here to Chrome, here's my landing page for Lions. I use Toned In, highly recommend Toned In. And here is my ad for Lions. And as you can see, the ad for Lions and the landing page for Lions are almost identical. So on the ad, getting into like the psyche of marketing, the psychological trick of why this works. With the ad, you've got the cover art, you've got Spotify's green logo, listen on Spotify, the signal telling very directly, this is what I want you to do. How do I listen on Spotify? Swipe up. Very clear indication again of what I want you to do. And then below that, it's going to say, listen now on the ad itself on Instagram, Facebook, and Messenger. From there, you're going to click through, and when you land on this landing page, you've got the exact same visual experience. You've got the same album cover, you've got the same blurred background, you've got the same green Spotify with a white play button, just as the text is white on the ad. It's a seamless, integrated experience. You have removed any doubt from your customer, listener, fan's mind that they may be going somewhere that they don't want to go. You have drilled home for them every step of the way. I want you to listen to my music. I want you to do it on Spotify, and I want you to swipe up now. And when they get here, there's a very clear indication that I want you to click play to continue this journey. If you introduce doubt into their mind by having differing visuals or differing calls to action, you're going to lose them, because people don't want to click one thing and end up at some spam website. Like, how often has that happened to all of us? You want to constantly reintroduce affirmations in the mind in these split-second moments of decisions while they're clicking through this experience, that they are still on the journey they want to be on and that you want them to be on. So you go directly from this ad directly to this landing page that matches branding to a T. And then from there, they end up at the song, which has all of the same coloring and branding as well. You've got 3 stages of this perfectly seamless experience where they're going from ad to landing page to Spotify. Again, you've got the album cover, the same color, you've got the Spotify green, and you've got the white text. By doing it this way, you make it easy for your audience to listen to your music. You want to remove any barrier to entry that you can possibly get out of their way. You want to make it super easy and super clear for them to move through the sort of choose your own adventure book that you've created for them to get to your music. Now, I know there are many people who use like free video apps and free video like downloads and stuff from like Pexels or Unsplash or images like that. And those things do work. And for some things, they're very applicable. I have always found the best results with this very, very simple, clean interface. Like, don't put any other logos on there. Don't put Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer, Tidal, Listen to all these places. You've already lost somebody. You want to give them a very clear one destination thing that you want them to do. If you introduce any other options into this when they're first hearing about you, you're going to lose them. It needs to be super duper crystal clear. And I think that is why this continues to work so well for me. And I hope it works well for you too. Now, before I let you go, I want to remind you to please subscribe to the channel, like this video if you dig it, share it with your friends if you really are feeling it, and turn on the bell notification if you haven't, so you don't miss any videos in the future. Now, at the end here, I'm going to throw a couple things up on the end screen that you can check out. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.